That first pitch across at 309, a 309 Renaissance Bank opening pitch. Renaissance Bank, understanding you, and it goes for a strike. And that one across for a strike. So Avery Sanders doing a really good job here, jumping ahead of the count. Also want to give a shout out to Jared Shields back in the studio in Amory. An ICC grad running the boat for, driving the bus for us today. As that changeup fell off the table just a bit too soon for the umpire's liking. Not a bad spot to miss, though, on the part of Sanders. So Jared Shields back there in Amory. Of course, a big weekend in Amory is the Railroad Festival, so if you have the opportunity to go out and looking for something to do this weekend, I promise you can find something to do in Amory this weekend. One of the best festivals in the state, without a doubt. 2-2 pitch coming. Ground ball, foul ball, and we'll stay at 2-2 with Corey Childs. So Childs leading things off here for the Indians. We're in the top of the first, no score. It'll be Corey Childs, Meg Sullivan, and Samantha Conley all due up here for the Indians. In the top of the first, this game scheduled for 7. That pitch up high for a ball. 3-2 now is the count here on Childs. Nice job by Corey to battle back and force the count to go full here. After falling behind the count quickly, 0-2. Ground ball, shortstop, bobbled it for a second. Throw across the way is going to be in time for the putout. 6-3 of Childs for out number 1. So one away now, and this is going to bring up Meg Sullivan, the left fielder for the Indians.
Up next, the sophomore from Springville, Alabama. The left fielder, number 15, Meg Sullivan.
Meg Sullivan will dig in here with 1 out and nobody on, top of the first. And that pitch is across for a strike. Well, so far so good by Sanders, as she has quickly gotten ahead of the batters, and she is filling up the strike zone here early. Now, if you're going to get one out of the ballpark, you're going to have to touch it. A pretty big ballpark here. I think right about 205, maybe 207 down the line. 235 dead center is what I heard the dimensions were. So that pitch on the outside corner for a ball. That pitch up high for a ball. 3-1 now is the count here to Meg Sullivan. She's batting .426 on the year. She's got a .480 on base percentage and a .639 slugging percentage. And there's a shot right back up the middle. And that's going to go for a single for Sullivan. Good hit there by Meg. Just went with the pitch. As you see, put it out there towards center field. And now with a 1-out single, this is going to bring up Samantha Conley. So Conley, who is catching here in game 1, will come to the plate. She's batting .319, .398 on base percentage, .404 slugging. Takes that first pitch high for a ball. Some of Sam's Conley able to make it out here this afternoon. She's from Mandeville, Louisiana, which is the New Orleans area. So a much shorter trip for a lot of her family to come up and support her this afternoon. That pitch missing low and outside for a ball. 2-0 now is the count. First time today that Sanders has been behind in the count, usually jumping ahead in the count quickly on the first 2 batters. Got a ground ball to short to retire Corey Childs. A single out to center field by Sullivan, who is at first. That pitch paints the corner for a strike. 2-1 now is the count. Talk about our umpires today. That is going to be brought to you by the Cagle Eye Center in Fulton. Schedule your appointment for get your eyes checked. Runner goes. Throw is not in time. That's going to be a stolen base for Meg Sullivan. The pitch was called a strike. But yeah, if you want to schedule get your eyes checked, call 862-EYES. That's 862-EYES. Today's umpires behind the plate, Buddy Burt, and out in the field is William Vineyard. William Vineyard out in the field. 2-2 is the count. And swinging, strike 3 on Conley. 2 away now, and this is going to bring up Shelby Newsom. That was the first Renaissance Bank strikeout of the day.
The sophomore from Cleveland. First baseman number 22, Shelby
And this
Newsom.
is Shelby Newsom batting .261. She's got a .346 slugging percentage, 346 on base, .348 slugging. That first pitch across for a strike. Sanders doing a good job of filling up the strike zone here early in this one. Runner at second for the Indians, scoreless in the top of the first. Game 1 of 2 here between ICC and Gulf Coast. Change up, a late call, but called a strike. You heard some of the ICC fans not too happy with that call there. Tell you what, though, a great crowd out for ICC today. Actually have more fans out for ICC, that appears, than Gulf Coast. This pitch fouled out of play towards the concession stand, and that'll go for strike 2. So Newsom looking for a 2-out hit here to keep this inning alive. ICC and Gulf Coast scoreless. 2 outs. Newsom fouls this one back way out of play. And we'll sit at 0-2. So the Indians would love to see some 2-out hitting. They did that well against East Mississippi in Game 2 to be able to pull away for a 6-1 victory. As that pitch up high for a ball. 1-2 now is the count here on Newsom. Shelby is out of Cleveland, Mississippi, a reverse transfer from Delta State. Had her first home run of the year against East Mississippi. And she checked her swing, trying to see if she went. The umpire appeals to the infield umpire. He said she did not. 2-2 now is the count here on Newsom. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner on second here for the Indians. Scoreless in the top of the first. And Newsom can't catch up with the rise ball. Strike 3 to end the inning. Back-to-back strikeouts there by Sanders to get out of the slight jam there in the top of the first. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. 2 up here in the bottom of the first will be Wall, Triplett, and Garrett for Gulf Coast. We're scoreless here in the middle of the first. We'll take a break and be back with more right after this on FM 95 Sports and Let'sGoICCTV.com.
This broadcast on Let'sGoICCTV.com is presented by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Food Giant, the Sonic of Fulton, your Etowah County Farm Bureau agent Joey Cox, the ICC BSU, Bank of Okolona, Legend Sports Grill, the ICC Wesley Foundation, Choice Palm, Kegel Eye Center, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the ICC Alumni Association, and the ICC Foundation.
I could get the extra most bestest with the most cheese and the most pepperoni for $6. Or I could get a pizza with less toppings for more money.
Get the most cheese and most pepperoni for the nation's best price. Little Caesars large $6 extra most bestest.
Pizza, pizza.
And welcome back now as we get set to move to the bottom of the first inning. ICC and Gulf Coast scoreless here in Game 1. Updating Twitter. Be sure and follow us on Twitter at Let'sGoICC on
In the
Twitter.
bottom of the first for the Lady Bulldogs, the DP number 14, Maddie Wall.
So this will be Madison Wall, the DP, to lead things off here for Gulf Coast. Bailey Springfield in the circle here for the Indians. At first pitch, paints the inside corner for a strike. Well, considering all the pregame adjustments they had to make, a 3:09 start time was not a bad start time at all. There's a shot out to left field, and it's going to get over the head of Sullivan. Sullivan didn't think that one's going to carry quite as far. And now Meg's a little slow coming up as she is threw that one in a hurry. That'll be a leadoff double by Wall. But Sullivan is down out there in left field on a knee. She does have that shoulder injury. And so Meg is going to be looked at there by the coaches on the field. That's going to be a double to start things off there. We're going to take a break and hear a few words from our sponsors and be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com.
When I think of potential, I think of a matchstick. When a matchstick reaches its potential, it releases a flame that ignites everything around it. 2018 brings new potential for you and your life at Itawamba Community College, where you are each empowered to do great things. You can be better, accomplish more, and live a life that is above the bar. Your potential is here.
This broadcast on Let'sGoICCTV.com is presented by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Food Giant, the Sonic of Fulton, your Etowah County Farm Bureau agent Joey Cox, the ICC BSU, Bank of Okolona, Legend Sports Grill, the ICC Wesley Foundation, Choice Palm, Kegel Eye Center, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the ICC Alumni Association, and the ICC Foundation.
And Sullivan being looked at by the trainers here from Gulf Coast and is not looking good as she is being not necessarily helped off the field but walked off the field. So we will have a choice pond position change coming up here for the Indians. To bring in a new left field, and that's tough because Meg has been swinging a good bat for the Indians here of late. So hopefully nothing serious here for Meg. As we said, she did have some shoulder injuries last year that kind of hampered her. So hopefully nothing re-aggravated there on the part of Meg Sullivan. So she will be checking out of the game, and we'll see who the Indians will be coming in with next here defensively out in left field. So Coach Kirk will have to make that substitution, and let's hear from Choice Pond for this Choice Pond defensive substitution for the Indians.
Need money now? Get a Choice Pond loan on things you already own, like guns, boats, campers, trailers, recreational vehicles, and just about everything else. Get a loan from Choice Pond in Fulton and Tupelo. Get cash today. ChoicePond.com.
And it's going to be Hannah Williams coming in for the Indians.
And for Meg, number 10, Hannah Williams for the Lady Indians.
So Williams will come in to replace the injured Meg Sullivan out there in left field. Meg got caught by surprise after that last hit by Madison Walls. Tried to quickly throw that one in. As we said, kind of maybe re-aggravated an old injury from last season, so hopefully she'll be okay. As now this is going to be Triplet checking into the game. We're having some problems with our second camera right now, so we'll probably end up having to stay here on this camera for a moment. That pitch drifting outside for a ball. Try to make some changes in between innings possibly. Shows bunt, pulls back, takes it for a ball. Shows bunt, swings at it, comes up for a strike. 2-1 now is the count. Yeah, that second camera right now is not going to be able to switch in anytime soon. So 2-1 is the count here. This pitch popped up. Center fielder goes back and camps underneath it for the putout for out number 1. That was Corey Childs who was playing in that time, able to come in and kind of jog back
Second baseman, number 19,
for the putout.
Garrett.
So now with one out and a runner on second, this is going to be Kaylin Garrett, the second baseman, coming to the plate. So 1 out and a runner on second, scoreless. So Rise ball just floats out of the zone for a ball. 1-0 is the count. There's a beautiful pitch, broke right back across the corner of the plate. 1-1 now is the count. Well, I lined up a little bit offset to the home plate umpire to his left, so anything on that outside corner, got a pretty good view at it, and that was just a beautiful breaking pitch tossed across by Bailey that time. And that one just a bit outside. 2-1 now is the count. Well, Bailey's trying to go for that outside corner, see if she'll eventually kind of stretch it out a little bit. That's where she likes to work a lot. So 2-1 is the count. A little change up, ground ball to the second baseman, finds it, tosses it over for the putout. For out number 2, Madison Carnes with a nice play defensively. Wall was able to advance over to third.
Now batting with 2 outs, Bulldog catcher.
So now with 2
11,
away,
Jada
this is
White.
going to be Jada White, the catcher, coming to the plate. So White will try to dig in here to extend the bottom of the first inning. ICC had a runner on second in the top half of the inning, couldn't do anything with it. And that's going to be down to the gap, and that's going to score a run. And possibly, nope, it's just going to be a double as White will check up at second. So the second hit of the inning, and it's a 2-out double that turned into an RBI. Well, this is a bigger field than the Indians are used to playing on, and that kind of tripped up Hannah Williams that time. And so now this is going to be Avery Sanders. Sanders, the pitcher, here in game 1, could really help her own cause.
Up next with 2
So
outs,
Gulf
Bulldog
Coast able to
catcher
come in
number
with a
9,
clutch
Avery
2-out hit
Sanders.
here in the bottom of the first inning to take a 1-0 lead. That pitch across for a strike. Well, in between innings, I'm going to go up and try to adjust this camera. So if you go to an extended commercial break where I'm not back in a minute or so, don't think your computer screen is froze up. So I'm going to hustle to do that. That pitch outside corner, not there. 2-1 now is the count here on Avery Sanders. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, and a runner on second. 1-0, Gulf Coast with the lead. That pitch falls outside. 3-1 now goes the count. Well, as we said, this is a very dangerous Gulf Coast team. Their overall record somewhat deceiving. That pitch across for a strike. 3-2 is the count. They came in with a 15-11 record overall, 10-8 in conference play. Played some pretty stiff competition, and talking to a few people before the game, haven't really played up to potential that they feel like this team could do. And there's, oh, ball 4. Thought it was strike 3 called by the way the umpire raised up quickly, but instead says it's ball 4. And now there'll be runners on first and second, and this will bring Maya Hobson to the plate.
Maya Hobson.
So with 2 away, Maya Hobson will dig in. After 6 complete in game 1, ICC in baseball up 4-1 over Southwest. That's over there on the Blue Channel. Fastball clips the corner for a strike. Turn down my crowd mic a little bit as a very vocal Gulf Coast dugout. That pitch, not sure where it missed. Like the same spot as the last location. Yes, it was just a little low. 1-1 now is the count. Indians trying to find the exit here. Trailing 1-0 in the bottom of the first. This pitch fouled back. 1-2 now is the count. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Would be a big time to get a Renaissance Bank strikeout here for Springfield. That pitch missing low and outside. 2-2 now is the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Gulf Coast with a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. Game 1 of 2 this afternoon. And that pitch missing low and inside. So Springfield kind of struggling to find the zone here early on. As the count goes full, here to Hobson. On deck will be Betty Mingo, the third baseman. Indians would love to see her start the inning, or excuse me, start the bottom of the second. This pitch fouled back for a strike, or excuse me, fouled back, and we'll stay at 3-2. The Indians took that 4-1 lead on a solo home run by Justin Medlin. That was in the bottom of the 6th. 3-2 pitch, foul back off the netting, and we'll stay at 3-2. As we talked about earlier, do want to say a special hello to some of the viewers out there. I know we got some back in Illinois watching in support of Gulf Coast. Also Miss Lynn Spears watching this afternoon. Waiting the 3-2 offering here. This pitch foul back, and we'll stay at 3-2 again. So Maya Hobson battling, keeping this at-bat alive here for the Bulldogs. It's fouled off 3, maybe 4 straight pitches, sitting on that 3-2 count. 2 outs, bottom of the first, runners on first and second. And this pitch popped up, foul territory. Shelby Newsom's going to chase over, but it's going to get out of play on the other side of the fencing. And once again, we'll do it all over again. Well, if Gulf Coast can keep up this level of intensity in the dugout all day, I'll be impressed, as they have had plenty of chatter over there on the third base side. Swinging strike 3. A big-time Renaissance Bank strikeout there to end the inning. But the Bulldogs do get 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. We'll take a break and be back with more. ICC trails at 1-0 after 1 complete here in Gulfport.
Hey Mississippi, let's fill the gap. Did you know Mississippi's community and junior colleges fill the gap between high school and skilled careers? Or that community and junior colleges are also a great value to students? It's true. Not only can they get degrees in these fields, they can actually afford the tuition to get them there. And did you realize that 96% of the state's community and junior college students are Mississippians? Not only that, they tend to stay in the state when they're done with college. And the more students that do so, the more skilled workers we'll have to fill the gap for jobs. And the more people to fill the job gaps, the more money stays in the state. Plus, the value of community and junior colleges in Mississippi is unbeatable. For every dollar the state puts into community and junior colleges, it gets $4.86 back, an almost 5-to-1 return on investment. So, come on Mississippi, contact your legislator and tell them to support Mississippi's community and junior colleges. And let's fill the gap.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As hopefully that has the issue fixed up top with the second camera. Apparently it does not, as it's still on the blitz. So we will just keep it on this one the rest of the day. So this is going to be Macy Cox, the DP, leading things off here for the Indians. That first pitch across for a strike. That pitch across, missing for a ball. Two and one now is the count here. As Cox watches that pitch up high for a ball. That pitch on the outside corner. Now the count goes full at 3-2. Cox, Springfield, and Piper due up here for the Indians. And that's going to be a walk. So Macy Cox will lead the inning off by drawing a 5-pitch walk, and now up is going to be Bailey Springfield. Bailey, the pitcher here in game one, could really help out her own cause here with a base hit. The Indians trail 1-0 after a pair of doubles in the bottom of the first, gave Gulf Coast a 1-0 lead. It was a double by Madison Wall to lead off the game. Then a fly out to center, ground out to second. And then Jada White came up with a clutch 2-out double to the gap out in left center. That pushed across Wall, a walk to Sanders, and then a Renaissance Bank strikeout to Hobson to end the inning, as the Indians are able to get out of the inning with minimum damage done. Shows bunt, only one play, and that's going to be over to first, and it's in time. So the sacrifice bunt successful on the part of Springfield. Third baseman came in and made that throw in a hurry.
Right fielder, number 18, Mackenzie.
And now this is going to be the right fielder, Mackenzie Piper, coming to the plate. So Piper will try to spark the bats here for the Indians. Takes that first pitch across for a strike. Once again, Avery Sanders has done an amazing job getting ahead of the batters quickly and often so far here through the first 2 innings of play. Piper couldn't catch up to that one. 0-2 now is the count here on Mackenzie. 1 out and a runner at second. That is Macy Cox. Mackenzie Piper at the plate, and Joanna Vasquez is on deck. Piper fouls this one back and out of play. We'll stay at 0-2. Piper batting .322. 355 on base percentage, .368 slugging. That pitch up high for a ball. 1-2 now is the count. Not a bad spot to miss that time by Sanders. Sanders has been pretty consistent in that upper 50s, in that 59 to 61 range. And Piper fouls this one back, and we'll stay at 1-2. We've already seen today, if you get something down to the gaps, you can run for a while in the ballpark. I think this field kind of doubles as a slow pitch field as Piper pops this one up and out of play, and we'll stay at 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out and a runner at second. That's Macy Cox, who walked and then advanced on a sacrifice bunt by Bailey Springfield. 1-2 is the count. Piper pops this one up. Center fielder will trek over, find it, and they're going to act like they're going to tag. The throw is up the line, but well covered over there at third base, so that will be a fly ball out to center. And so now with 2 away, this is going to be Joanna Vasquez.
2 outs, third baseman number 2, Joanna Vasquez.
So Vasquez will come to the plate, trying to spark a 2-out rally, much like Gulf Coast did in the bottom of the first. That pitch inside for a ball. Breezy afternoon, cloudy. Not any rain in the forecast. Of course, we are close to the coast, so when we feel wind like this back north, we think it's going to rain. As that pitch missing for a ball, 2-0 now is the count here to Joanna Vasquez. If Joanna were to reach, it'll be Madison Carnes, the second baseman, up next. Joanna, a freshman out of South Haven, trying to spark a two-out rally here for the Indians. Takes a look at that pitch across for a strike. Well, as we said, a great crowd coming out to support ICC. A good crowd starting to fill in here for Gulf Coast. 2-1 is the count. Vasquez pops one. It's going to be a long run and cannot make the play out there in right field. And, oh, the right fielder went hard into the fence. And hopefully she is okay, as that fence did not give whatsoever. So that was Bailey Massey. And the head coach for Gulf Coast wants to go out there and talk to Bailey. Bailey, actually from my part of the world. She is a freshman out of Bruce, Mississippi, of course, on the other side of the river. As they're going to try to let her walk this off real quick. One of the trainers are going to come out and check on Bailey as well. She's just talking to the coach, maybe a little bit more upset with herself than she's actually hurt. So hopefully she's okay and looks like she'll be able to stay in the game. We've already lost one player today due to injury, and that was Meg Sullivan back in the first. It's like Kelsey Yates and Gulf Coast coach looking at something down there on the side. Yates is going to go down and bring something out of the way of the field. But looks like Massey is okay, going to stay in there in right field. So nothing but an exciting strike down the side that time.
Do I just need to get the keys from him?
So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ground ball, third baseman gets it, plenty of time, throws over and gets the put out. 5-3 to end the inning. So the Indians once again leave a runner stranded in scoring position. No runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. We're going to take another timeout, and once again I'm going to have to go up top to try to make some adjustments to our cameras. As we'll be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com.
What's better than waiting in line at the bank? Literally everything. Renaissance Bank's mobile check deposit lets you take care of checks wherever you want. Click on Deposit Check in the Renaissance mobile app. Read and hit Continue on the bottom of the notice page. Sign it. Write your name, account number, and for mobile deposit only on the back. Photograph it, front and back, so we know it's real. Type in the amount, choose the account to deposit into, click Continue, and go on your way. You'll receive an email that is being processed, but hold on to the hard copy until the check clears, and then rip it up and throw it away. So what are you waiting for? Download the Renaissance mobile banking app and make waiting in line a thing of the past. Check, phone, check. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 1-0 is your score. Renaissance Bank, a proud sponsor of ICC Athletics. And apologize as I'm trying to catch my breath, sprinting up those steps and around the corner to try to get this second camera figured out, and it's just not working today. So hopefully we get that figured out for game 2. Or I may just try to chance it.
Leading off the bottom of the second.
So the Indians trail 1-0 here.
Number 15, Betty Mingo.
And it'll be Mingo, Massey, and Sexton, the 7, 8, 9 batters due up here for Gulf Coast in the bottom of the second. They lead it 1-0. That pitch across for a strike. So that pitch across for a strike, 0-2 now. is the count. That pitch missing the outside corner. Not a bad spot to miss that time by Bailey. Trying to see if you could get her to chase one that time. Did not. Held off of it nicely. 1-2 now is the count. Rise ball. Held off of it. 2-2 now. Goes the count here on the third baseman, Mingo. So right now the difference in the game is a pair of doubles. As that pitch falls off the table way too soon. 3-2 now. Three and two now is the count to Betty Mingo. This pitch foul back off the pole, and we'll stay at 3-2. Umpire wants to come out and check the softball, make sure everything's good to go. Looks pleased with it. It's the middle of the seventh in baseball, and ICC leads it 4-2 in game one against Southwest. That's available over there on the Blue Channel. This pitch popped up a mile high. Hannah Williams having to chase back, can't find it, and it's going to drop for an extra base hit. Well, once again, this larger than normal field giving ICC fits. That's the third hit of the game, and it goes for extra bases. 3 doubles so far in the contest.
Right fielder number 1, Bailey Massey.
As I don't know if Hannah Williams ever really picked the ball up, as she just jogged back for a second and then basically turned around and started sprinting to try to find the ball. Couldn't do so. Drops for an extra base hit. The Indians do have somebody getting loose in the bullpen. Looks like Olivia Burns starting to toss around. This is going to be Bailey Massey. Massey collided with the fence over in foul territory as that pitch, a rise ball, swung on and missed for strike one. Shows bunt, pulls back, takes it for a ball. So 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs, and a runner on second. ICC kind of sluggish out of the gate here in game one. Shows bunt, and it's a foul ball. Break there for the Indians as the ball popped in and out of the glove of Conley that time. Didn't really find it quick enough to be able to throw down to first. So now 1-2 is the count here on Massey. So 1-2 is the count here on Massey. No outs and a runner on second. We're in the bottom of the second. ICC trailing 1-0. Ooh, good looking pitch there, just a bit low. Conley turning around and asking the umpire where it missed, and that's what he said, just low. So now the count goes 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, and a runner on second. This shot's lifted, and this one's to the gap, and it's going to drop for another extra base hit, and it's going to score another run. They're going to try to turn it into a triple, and it will be. Massey will triple.
Stand-up triple for Bailey Massey.
And that gives the Bulldogs a 2-0 lead here over the Indians. And everything going the way of Gulf Coast here early on. I don't know if you're the outfield if you just don't play back some, because they have been burnt 3 times, make it 4 times this afternoon. Now that one would have been down for a hit either way, as it was hit to the gap. Massey showing off some pretty good speed there.
Center fielder number 12, Megan Sexton.
So the Indians going to have to try to rally here and recoup. And now up is going to be the number 9 batter. This is going to be Sexton. Sexton will come to the plate with no outs and a runner at third. That pitch missing for a ball. Well, this has not been an ideal start to the ball game here for the Indians. They are struggling, to say the least. Is that pitch across for a strike? Indians going to try to find a way out of this inning with minimum damage done. But with no outs and a runner on third, it's going to be tough. Swung on and missed for strike 2. Wind really starting to whip in the ballpark now. You hear it blowing over the microphone here. Pitch inside for a ball. 2-2 now is the count. 2-0 is the lead for Gulf Coast over the number 4 Indians here. ICC has just seemed all out of sorts to start this contest. Gulf Coast with 4 hits, all of them going for extra bases. 3 doubles and 1 triple. This pitch popped up and it's trouble. Childs, though, comes over, makes the play. It's deep enough to score the run, so that'll be a sacrifice fly for Sexton. She'll get the RBI, and Massey will come across to score, and it is 3-0 now, Gulf Coast.
Well,
now Macy Cox starting to get loose in the bullpen for the Indians. We go back to the top of the lineup, and this is going to be Madison Wall. Madison doubled, scored a run in her first at bat, part of a 1-run bottom of the first inning. As that pitch drift right back across the corner for a strike. So 0-1 is the count. Change up in the dirt. Nobody on base to really do any damage with there. This pitch foul back out of play. 1-2 now goes the count here on Wall. After 7 complete in game 1 in baseball, ICC up 4-2 over Southwest. That's over on the Blue Channel. This pitch popped up and it's going to get out of play. So 1-2 stays the count. Change up and a beauty across for strike 3. Take a look at that one there on the Little Caesars Instant Replay, the second Renaissance Bank strikeout of the day for Springfield. And now with 1 out, this is going to bring up Brittany Triplett. Triplett flew out to center in her first at bat. Takes a look at that first pitch across for a strike. Well, that low pitch has not been there today, so Springfield's had to work up a little bit higher than she likes in the strike zone. That pitch foul back and out of play. 0-2 now is the count here on Triplett. And so when you have to work up more than you like, you're able to get teed off on a little bit, and that's been the case so far here for Springfield. So not too much of a favorable strike zone for Bailey here in game 1. But how you just gotta adjust. That pitch on the outside for a ball. 1-2 now goes the count here on Triplett. Well, as we said, there's another one of those low pitches that the umpire just does not like. There's a little poke forward, shortstop gets it, throws it across the way, in time. Nice play by Rachel Sternisha.
number 3. Lady Bulldogs added
6-3 on the putout of Triplet, but the Bulldogs do get 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We'll take a break and hear a few more words from our sponsors and be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com.
Sonic Nights is the highlight of the summer.
Oh, yeah. There's probably some pretty big names here checking out these half-price floats.
Oh, everyone who's anyone is here tonight. Look, there are those 2 guys.
What are they famous for?
Huh. I think for eating here all the time.
Are we good at eating here or what?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, come on.
For a limited time, get real ice cream slushes, shakes, and floats half price after 8 p.m. during Sonic Nights. This is how you Sonic.
Helen, don't you know Little Caesars has the extra most bestest for $6?
$6? I gotta sit down.
Yeah, it has the most cheese and pepperoni for the nation's best price.
Most cheese and most pepperoni? I gotta sit all the way down.
Get the most cheese and most pepperoni for the nation's best price. Little Caesars large $6 extra most bestest.
Pizza.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get set here for the top of the third inning. It's been all Gulf Coast so far in this one, as it'll be the 9-1-2 batters up. Madison Carnes, Corey Childs, and Meg Sullivan for the Indians. Carnes playing second base. Takes that first pitch across for a ball. Now, been a couple of times we've seen that pitch thrown by Springfield, not called a ball, so tough one to kind of swallow the pill on that one. There's a shot right back up the middle by Madison Carnes. Nicely done that time by Madison, only the second hit of the day for the Indians. Return to center. And now we go back to the top of the lineup, and this is going to be Corey Childs.
Center fielder number 7, Corey Childs.
Corey grounded out to the shortstop in her first at bat. Indians trying to find some bats here and rally in this one. They trail 3-0. We're in the top of the third. Yep, it's just not a consistent outside corner right now, folks. That pitch called a strike. Corey late on that rise ball. 0-2 now is the count. Runner at first, that's Madison Carnes. She led the inning off with a single. 0-2 now is the count here on Corey Childs. Avery Sanders has pitched extremely well so far. That changeup, Childs laid back, waited on it, and it's going to go for a single for Corey Childs. Take a look at that one on the Little Caesars instant replay. And now the Indians, one of their best innings so far. They now have got back-to-back singles, runners on first and second. And now up is going to be Hannah Williams, who will be batting in place of Meg Sullivan, who was injured in the first inning. Takes that first pitch across for a strike. So Williams playing in left field. Trying to spark a rally here for the Indians. That pitch missing low and outside. Well, I said it was inconsistent, and that one looked like a pretty good pitch there. So 1-1 now is the count here. Williams shows bunt, lays it back, is fouled off. 1-2 now goes the count here on Hannah Williams. 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs. Runners on first and second for the Indians. They trail 3-0 here in the top of the third inning. Game 1 between ICC and Gulf Coast. Williams fouls this one off, and we'll stay at 1-2. Well, they've got some speed on the bases, do the Indians, so if Hannah can get something down to the gap, Indians could make this a 1-run contest. Williams fouls this one back and out of play. We'll stay at 1-2. We are on the campus of Harrison Central High School here in Gulfport. Of course, Harrison had that pretty impressive run Picked up state championships in softball in 2014, 15, and 16. That pitch missing low and outside. 2-2 now is the count. There are a few dark clouds rolling into the area. Hopefully that will not produce any rain. If it does, I will have to shut this down immediately and get it out of the weather. 2-2 pitch coming, and Hannah Williams swings at a pitch on the outside and misses for a strikeout. That is the third Renaissance Bank strikeout of the day for Avery Sanders. Not a good pitch to swing on that time, but good job getting her to chase one out of the zone. And now up is going to be Samantha Conley. Conley struck out swinging in her first at bat. That was for the second out of the first inning. Takes that first pitch for a strike. Well, eventually the Indians are just going to have to be a little bit more aggressive and start jumping on some of these early pitches from Avery Sanders. She has done an outstanding job filling up the strike zone so far. And that pitch missing low. Or excuse me, actually swung on and missed on a low pitch. 0-2 now is the count here. Well, that's what we said. We said this Gulf Coast team has not been too consistent, but just waiting for that breakout game. And so far, so good for the Bulldogs. The Indians trying to wake up some bats here in the top of the third. They trail 3-0. Runners are at first and second with one out, and this is Samantha Conley at the plate. So Conley awaiting the 0-2 offering. Swings on this one, fouls it back, and we'll stay at 0-2 with one out. Baseball still 4-2 Indians. That's in the middle of the 8th. Game 1 back in Fulton against Southwest. Conley rolls one forward. Only one play, and that's over to first. 1-3 on the putout of Conley. And so now it's just going to be up to Shelby Newsome here. 2-out hitting. That's what got Gulf Coast started earlier. ICC looking for their first 2-out hit of the day. And this is going to be Shelby Newsome. Newsome, who struck out swinging to end the first. Indians have left 2 runners on in scoring position so far in the game, trying to avoid that trend here in the top of the third. Newsome swings on the first pitch he sees, fouls it off. Line drive down the right field line, foul ball for strike one. You've got Corey Childs at second, who has more than enough speed to score on anything down to the outfield. Madison Carnes is at third. They have back-to-back singles to start the inning. That pitch finds the outside corner for a strike. 0-2 now is the count. It was a strikeout to Hannah Williams and then a ground out by Conley for 2 outs, and now Newsome going to have to guard the dish here with an 0-2 count. That pitch up high for a ball. 1-2 now is the count. So Newsome trying to extend the inning here. 2 outs. Indians trail 3-0. Hard hit ground ball. Shortstop, look what I found. Didn't even look at the ball. Popped up in her glove, and she was able to get the out. So the Indians once again cannot cash in with runners in scoring position. For the 4th time today, they have left runners on in scoring position. They trail 3-0 as we get set to head to the bottom of the third. Gulf Coast 3, ICC nothing. Back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com.
This broadcast on Let'sGoICCTV.com is presented by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Food Giant, the Sonic of Fulton, your Etowah County Farm Bureau agent Joey Cox, the ICC BSU, Bank of Okolona, Legend Sports Grill, the ICC Wesley Foundation, Choice Pawn, Kegel Eye Center, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the ICC Alumni Association, and the ICC Foundation.
So you took Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest pizza that has the most cheese and pepperoni at the nation's best price and then stuffed more cheese into the crust?
Yep, it's got 3 feet of cheese stuffed in the crust.
Huh.
Added more cheese to the pizza with the most cheese. Added more cheese to the pizza with the most cheese. They added more cheese to their pizza with
Poor guy. Couldn't wrap his mind around all that cheese.
They added.
Get a large Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest stuffed crust pepperoni pizza for $9.
Pizza, pizza.
Excuse me. Welcome back to action, ladies and gentlemen. 3-0 is your score. Gulf Coast leading the number 4 team in the country, ICC, as we get set to move to the bottom of the 3rd inning here in Game 1.
Leading off for the Lady Bulldogs in the bottom of the 3rd. Second baseman number 19, Kaylin Garrett.
Springfield still in the circle here for the Indians. That pitch across for a strike. Beautiful curveball finds the corner for a strike. 0-2 now is the count. Good looking pitch that time by Springfield. So he said when she can work low in the zone, she can pitch with the best of them, but today that low pitches has not been there too consistently. This pitch popped up. Hannah Williams drifting over in left field and gets it for the putout. So that was Garrett popping up to left.
Bulldog catcher number 11, Jada White.
And now what will be the catcher, Jada White. She had an RBI double in her last at-bat. Was left stranded back in the 1st. 3-0 is your score. Gulf Coast leading ICC here. Our first softball game of the year on FM 95 Sports. We do welcome those that are listening out there in Amory, getting geared up to go enjoy some of the Railroad Festival this weekend. 1-0 is the count. Hopefully weather will be kind this weekend. It's not looking to be too favorable as that pitch missing. 1-1 now, or excuse me, across for a strike. 1-1 now is the count with 1 out. White pops this one up, and this could be trouble, but it is going to go just foul by about 1.5 feet down the right field line. If not, could have been another extra base hit. Gulf Coast has 4 hits so far in the ball game, 3 doubles, 1 triple. ICC has 3 hits, but no runs to show for it. They've put runners in scoring position 4 times and could not cash in on them. So everything going the way of the Bulldogs here early. 1-2 is the count here. Not a bad spot to miss that time. See if he couldn't get her to chase one out of the zone, but a good eye that time by White. When we talk about good eyes, we talk about the Cagle Eye Center of Fulton. Give them a call at 862-EYES. That's 862-EYES. Strike 3. Nicely done that time by Bailey Springfield to get the Renaissance Bank strikeout.
With 2 outs, pitcher number 9.
That is her 3rd Renaissance Bank strikeout of the game. And for Bailey, that is her 86th strikeout of the year. So with 2 outs now, this is going to be Avery Sanders, the pitcher. Takes that first pitch, missing low and outside for a ball. 1-0 is the count. Remind you, those that are listening here on FM 95 Sports, we'll only have Game 1 coming your way. This pitch popped up. Springfield rushing over and makes the play for out number 3. Let's take a look there at that Little Caesars instant replay. The Indians finally get a 3-up, 3-down inning out of the Bulldogs. No runs, no hits, no errors. ICC trying to get the bats fired up as we head to the top of the 4th. They trail it 3-0. We'll take a break and be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com.
Today, you are connected more than ever. Your friends, your family, your life. Having a partner that understands banking is what you do on your time, anywhere you like. It's about being connected, which is easy with convenient locations in your community. Understanding that sometimes you need to speak to real people with real answers. Banking partners with the services you desire, who understand how you want to bank. Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
So you took Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest pizza that has the most cheese and pepperoni at the nation's best price and then stuffed more cheese into the crust?
Yep, it's got 3 feet of cheese stuffed in the crust.
Huh.
They added more cheese to the pizza with the most cheese. They added more cheese to the pizza with the most cheese. They added more cheese to their pizza with
Poor
the
guy.
most cheese.
Couldn't wrap his mind around all that cheese.
They added.
Get a large Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest stuffed crust pepperoni pizza for $9.
Pizza, pizza.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we move now to the top of the 4th inning, where to be Macy Cox, Bailey Springfield, and Mackenzie Piper due up here for the Indians, the 5, 6, 7 batters. ICC looking to get something started here in the 4th, as they trail it 3-0. Swing on the first pitch she sees, ground ball to the third baseman, throw across the way is in time for out number 1, 5-3 for those of you that may be scoring at home. So now up is going to be Bailey Springfield. She had a sacrifice bunt in her first attempt of the day.
The next pitcher, number 21, Bailey Springfield.
With nobody on and 1 out, she'll be swinging away here. Give credit to Avery Sanders. She has been lights out. This pitch popped up and it's going to drop. Good job that time by Bailey. The outfield playing a little bit deep that time. Just put them out there where they ain't. And that's going to drop for a base hit for Springfield. Let's take a look back at that on the Little Caesars instant replay as I hit the wrong button, so this is going to be a long replay.
Right fielder number 18, Mackenzie Piper.
So while we wait for that, Mackenzie Piper coming to the plate.
Pipe up, Joe, let's go.
Piper swings to the first pitch she sees, fouled back, but will go off the netting and out of play. Good hustle that time by the part of the catcher, Jada White. Not giving up on the play, chasing it all the way through, and luckily for the Indians, that one got just enough of the net for it to be a dead ball. So 0-1 is the count here to Piper. She flew out to center in her last at bat. That pitch jammed her. And 0-2 now is the count. Springfield reached on a 1-out single to center field. Indians trail 3-0 here in the top of the 4th. It's been all Bulldogs. That pitch missing low and inside. 1-2 down is the count. Not a bad spot to miss there by Avery Sanders. As I said, it's been an impressive day today for Avery Sanders. A large part of that is because she stayed ahead of the batters all day today. She's only issued 1 walk, has scattered 4 hits, and has been pretty solid behind her defensively. There's a shot to the gap. This one's got a chance to score a run here for the Indians. And they're going to ask Springfield to try to score from third, and she will. A big-time clutch hit there, a double off the bat of Mackenzie Piper. And it's an RBI double. And the Indians finally get a pretty good hit there, able to take advantage of the deep field and allowed Springfield to show off some pretty good speed there, scoring from first. And now this is going to be Joanna Vasquez at the plate. Indians trail now 3-1. 1 out and a runner on second. ICC would love to pick up a couple of more runs here in the 4th. That's Vasquez, dribbles one forward, pitcher finds it, throws over in time for the putout. Runner does advance to third. And so with 2 outs now in the inning and a runner at third, this is going to be Madison Carnes coming to the plate.
2 outs, second baseman number 9, Madison Carnes.
Carnes had a single in her last at bat. Would love to see a carbon copy of that one here to make it a 1-run ball game. 3-1 is your score. That pitch, rise ball, drifting too high. 1-0 now is the count here on Madison Carnes. Carnes single but was left stranded back in the third. She started the third with a single. Advanced to second on a single by Corey Childs and a strikeout, ground out. Ended the threat there in the third. ICC does have 1 run so far here. 1-1 is the count. That pitch outside for a ball. 2-1 now. The count here on Carnes. Runner at third, that's Mackenzie Piper. Carnes swings on and misses for strike 2. As we said, if you get something down to the gaps, you're running for a daze here at this ballpark at Harrison Central. This pitch fouled back, and we'll stay at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. A runner at third in Piper. The Indians trying to find a 2-out base hit here. Make it a 1-run contest. Carnes pops this one up deep. Center fielder's jogging back. Can't find it. That run will score. And Carnes will have a double. Big time hit there off the bat of Madison Carnes. Center fielder just could not find it. Back-to-back extra base hits for the Indians. And it's now a 1-run contest. Big time rally there for the Indians. And now up is going to be Corey Childs. So can Corey Childs keep it going here for the Indians? Takes a look at that first pitch across for a strike. 0-1 is the count now with 2 outs and a runner at second. Finally, the Indians able to cash in with runners in scoring position here. A big-time double that time. Probably went out of the park anywhere else in the league. Shows bunt, fouls it off. 0-2 now is the count. Well, a big inning so far here, and forgive me for being greedy. Would love to see the Indians keep this inning going here in the top of the fourth. They've plated 2 runs on a pair of hits. Excuse me, 3 hits. That pitch missing low and outside for a ball. 1-2 now is the count here on Corey Childs. She's 1 for 2 on the day with a single, was left stranded on second back in the 3rd inning. She also grounded out to short to start the contest in the 1st. That pitch, not a bad spot to miss when you got one to throw away. See if you couldn't get her to chase one. Good eye by Corey Childs, and the count now goes 2-2. Waiting the 2-2 offering. Childs pops this one up, and it is going to get out of play. So that one chased into the dugout of the Bulldogs. And we'll stay at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner on second. That's Madison Carnes, who doubled to score Mackenzie Piper to make it a 3-2 contest here in the top of the 4th. 2-2 pitch, rise ball up too high. 3-2 now goes the count on Corey Childs. Wind continue to pick up here. Dark clouds in the distance. We said no rain really forecast until later this evening. There's a shot, and the left fielder, though, is going to be able to squeeze it for the final out of the inning. But the Indians do score 2 runs on 3 hits and 1 runner left on base. So the Indians finally figure out the mystery that has been Sanders. 3-2, Gulf Coast leads it. We'll take a break and be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com.
This broadcast on Let'sGoICCTV.com is presented by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Food Giant, the Sonic of Fulton, your Etowah County Farm Bureau agent Joey Cox, the ICC BSU, Bank of Okolona, Legend Sports Grill, the ICC Wesley Foundation, Choice Palm, Kegel Eye Center, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the ICC Alumni Association, and the ICC Foundation.
I could get the extra most bestest with the most cheese and the most pepperoni for $6. Or I could get a pizza with less toppings for more money.
Get the most cheese and most pepperoni for the nation's best price. Little Caesars large $6 extra most bestest.
Pizza.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. New ball game here. 3-2. ICC is able to push across a pair of runs there in the top of the 4th. On an RBI double by Mackenzie Piper and an RBI double by Madison Carnes. 3-2 now is the score. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. Game 1 here on Let'sGoICCTV.com and FM 95 Sports. As the wind continues to pick up here at the ballpark. For the Bulldogs, it'll be the 6, 7, 8 batters due up. Hobson, Mingo, and Massey. Bailey Springfield still in the circle. Got a 3-up, 3-down inning, including her third Renaissance Bank strikeout of the day in the previous inning as that pitch across for a strike. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. RenaissanceBank.com, a proud sponsor of ICC Athletics here on FM 95 Sports. Change up, just fell off the table a bit too soon.
Come on, Bailey, let's go.
1-1 now is the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs as Hobson leading things off here for the Bulldogs in the bottom of the fourth. That pitch missing a little bit too far inside. We do have a final score in Game 1 of baseball. ICC defeats Southwest 4-2. That was on the Blue Channel, so in about 20 minutes they'll be back in action there in Fulton. Indy is looking to go for the sweep. That pitch across for a strike. 2-2 now is the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs. As this is Hobson leading things off here for the Bulldogs. That pitch missing on the outside corner. 3-2 now is the count. Here on Maya Hobson. Maya is playing first base here in Game 1 for the Bulldogs. Winning the 3-2 pitch here. And there's ball 4. Once again, this home plate umpire just not a big fan of those low pitches. He is not necessarily been too consistent
number 15, Betty Mingo.
on them, but not necessarily to the point of where it's too lopsided in one end or the other. But when you got a pitcher that likes to work low in the zone, low in the zone, low in the zone, you figure eventually she's going to earn the respect of the umpire of her trying to establish her strike zone there. That has not been the case so far here with Buddy Burt. Runner coming into the contest here for the Bulldogs. That appears to be number 25. That's Katie Beth Williams.
For the Bulldogs, number 25, Katie Beth Williams.
So Williams will come in to run in this situation, as this will be Betty Mingo, the third baseman, at the plate. She doubled to start the second inning. Eventually came around to score on a triple by Massey, who is on deck. That was part of a 2-run bottom of the second. 3-2 is your score. ICC trailing by 1. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. This game scheduled for 7 here in Game 1 in Gulfport. Shows bunt, pops it up, and just too far back for Conley to be able to chase that one down. Good effort, though, by Conley to quickly pop up and try to chase it down. Strike 1. So trying a little surprise bunt there. Indians look to be ready for it defensively. So 0-1 is the count here to Betty Mingo. Shows bunt, lays it down. Vasquez throws over in time for the putout. So that was a sacrifice bunt, 5-3 on the putout. Of course, when we talk about those sacrifice bunts, we talk about the ICC Baptist Student Union, a proud sponsor of ICC Athletics here on FM 95 Sports. They meet Monday nights at 7:07, Wednesdays at noon. They have their luncheon. All they ask is bring $2 and a friend. Don't forget $2 for your friend as well to enjoy lunch and some worship there at the ICC BSU. Brother Chris Burrows and company always doing a great job there at the ICC BSU. So with 1 out and a runner on second now, this is going to be Massey. Massey tripled and drove in a run in her previous at-bat. And right now proves to be the difference in the ball game. That first pitch from Springfield missing high for a ball. 1-0 is the count. 1 out, runner at second. Pitch catches that outside corner. 1-1 now is the count here on Massey, the right fielder. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, and a runner on second. Massey looking down the side to get the signal from the coach on what they want to do here. There's a shot that gets through the legs of the first baseman who was playing in. They're going to ask the run to score, and it will. So an RBI single from Massey. And the Bulldogs get that run back. Now they go up by 2 runs as that scores number 25, Williams. Infield was in that time. A tough play over there at first. Just a hard hit, couldn't find it.
For the Bulldogs, center fielder number 12, Megan Sexton.
And so now this will be Sexton coming to the plate. She had a sacrifice fly in her last at bat. That drove in a run, part of that 2-run second inning for the Bulldogs. Well, the Bulldogs were able to get a run back, give them a little bit of a breathing room here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Nice piece of hitting there by Bailey Massey to push across the run. Shows bunt, pulls back, takes it for a ball. Pitch was up a little bit in the zone. Well, the Bulldogs have played pretty well. Mistake-free softball so far and have executed and coming up with the clutch hits when they need them the most. Snap throw down to first, not in time. 2-0 now is the count here to Sexton, the center fielder. And it'll be Madison Wall on deck for the Bulldogs. 2-0 is the count. This pitch popped up. Conley chasing back, couldn't quite get to it in time. 2-1 now is the count. Good hustle that time by Sam. If there wasn't a brick backstop, I'm pretty sure she might have tried to do a diving effort on it, but wisely found the brakes that time, was able to check up before going into the brick. 2-1 now is the count. Ground ball to the second baseman. There's one. Can they turn 2? No. So fielder's choice will be the call there. 6-4. As Massey is retired. Boy, that would have been a big-time Little Caesars double play there if the Indians could have found a way to turn it. But did not. Now up is Madison Wall. She does have a double and run scored. She struck out for the second out back in the second. 4-2 is your score. Is that pitch? Not sure where that one missed. Caught a ball. Well, as we said, that low strike area has not been too consistent today, especially for Bailey in this sense. And when she does, she has to put it up in the air, and that one's going to drop for an extra base hit, and it's going to score another run. And that's going to be a triple. An RBI triple there. Scored Sexton. And the Bulldogs have answered big time here in the bottom part of the 4th inning. They push the lead back out to 3.
For the Bulldogs, shortstop number 7, Brittany Triplett.
That is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th extra base hit. They have 6 hits altogether. And now this is going to be Triplett, who is 0 for 2 on the day. Slow roller, and it's going to be a foul ball. So 0-1 is the count here to Triplett. The Indians trying to find an exit here. It's been 2 out hitting. Today has been clutch for the Bulldogs. They lead it 5-2 here. Bottom of the 4th, game 1. This pitch popped up out of play for strike 2. pitch missing low for a ball. Not a bad spot to miss that time. See if you couldn't get a slap hitter to chase one out of the zone. Did not. 1-2 now is the count. Shamner, and that's going to drop for a hit, and that's going to score another run. Well, had just enough of that one to fight it off over the head of the infield that was in that time. And now the Bulldogs lead it 6-2. Well, it has been all Gulf Coast here in game one today, ladies and gentlemen. The Indians going to have to come to the plate and find some bats in the top of the fifth. But before they do that, they've got to find an exit here in the bottom of the fourth. As this is Garrett at the plate. That pitch, slow roller, throw across the way is in time, 6-3 to end the inning. But not before the Bulldogs were able to plate 3 runs.
Get a few back after 4 is 6-2.
On 3 hits, no errors. 6-2 is your score. We'll take a break and be back with the top of the fifth right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com.
The longer a person has diabetes, the more likely they are to develop diabetic retinopathy. If left untreated, diabetic retinopathy can lead to blindness. That's why it's important for diabetics to have a comprehensive eye examination with dilation once a year. I'm Dr. Laurie Cagle of Cagle Eye Center in Fulton. We offer comprehensive eye exams to provide diagnosis and treatment of various eye diseases. Browse our large selection of frames available in prescription and non-prescription. Call to schedule your appointment today at Cagle Eye Center in Fulton.
This broadcast on Let'sGoICCTV.com is presented by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Food Giant, the Sonic of Fulton, your Etowah County Farm Bureau agent Joey Cox, the ICC BSU, Bank of Okolona, Legend Sports Grill, the ICC Wesley Foundation, Choice Palm, Cagle Eye Center, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the ICC Alumni Association, and the ICC Foundation.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We get set here for the top of the fifth inning. ICC trailing this one 6-2, and it has been all Gulf Coast today as they've been able to get some extra base hits in this extra large field today. Indians, though, playing on the same field, just have not been able to get those hits. Gulf Coast with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. 5 of those going for extra bases. The Indians only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits, and 2 of those going for extra bases. As that first pitch going to miss low for a ball. So it's going to be the 2, 3, 4 batters due up here. Hannah Williams, Samantha Conley, and Shelby Newsom trying to get it started here for the Indians. That pitch missing outside for a ball. 2-0 now is the count. Mackenzie Toombs starting to get loose in the bullpen. There's a shot. If it stays fair, it's trouble, but it's going to drift foul. So nothing but a long strike there off the bat of Hannah Williams. She's replacing Meg Sullivan, who was injured in the bottom of the first. So hopefully nothing serious there for Meg Sullivan. 2-1 is the count here on Hannah, and there's a dribbler. Going to have to hurry. Throw across the way, though, is in time. Got her by a step. 6-3. Well, that's one thing we talked about. This infield has been questionable at times this season for the Bulldogs, but they have been lights out so far here in this contest. Let's feel a few raindrops there, and that's not good. So hopefully it will not amount to anything too much rain, as if it does, we will have to break away and put this equipment up. So that first pitch fouled off by Conley. Then this second pitch also fouled off by Conley. 0-2 now is the count here on Samantha. Well, Avery Sanders has been outstanding today for the Bulldogs. That pitch missing low for a ball. For the most part, have kept the Indians' bats quiet. She's struck out 3. She's only walked 1. And she has stayed ahead of the count on the Indians all day today, as ICC just have not been able to put a solid bat on the ball. Conley chases a high pitch, fouls it out of play. 1-2 is the count. So the Indians trying to spark a rally here in the top of the 5th. They pushed across 2 runs to the top of the 4th, but Gulf Coast answered with 3. And this pitch fouled off out of play and will stay at 1-2. So Conley going to try to spark a rally here for the Indians. Awaiting the 1-2 pitch, and it's fouled off. Just cannot quite get timed up on Sanders here. She's making solid contact, just a little bit behind on all of them. 1-2, still your count. ICC trailing Gulf Coast 6-2 here in game 1. Awaiting the 1-2 offering here. Change up, missing. 2-2 now is the count to Samantha Conley. So waiting the 2-2 offering here from Sanders. Conley gets one through, and again, look what I found. And the low throw is scooped up and out and caught. So that's been like the 3rd or 4th time today we've seen the Bulldogs not really even looking at the ball when they put the glove out there and just find it and make the play to get the foot out.
Shelby Newsom.
You know what? It takes those type of efforts to be able to knock off a top-ranked program in the country. And so right now, everything going the way of the Bulldogs here in this one. So with 2 outs now, this will be Shelby Newsom. Takes that first pitch across for a strike. 6-2 is your score. Change up, and it's a beauty. Painted that inside corner as Newsom couldn't pull the trigger on that one. So now 0-2 is the count here to Newsom. This pitch fouled back out of play. 0-2 now stays the count on Newsom. There have been a lot of foul balls, so they're going to have to chase some of them down here. So wait for the home plate umpire to come back and get them squared away here. You're listening to FM 95 Sports, ICC softball for the first time this season. Change up, hangs up. Not a bad spot to miss, though. 1-2 now is the count here on Newsom. Newsom fouls this one off. There's been at least 8 foul pitches so far here in this inning alone by the Indians. And give a lot of credit to Avery Sanders. She has done a great job today keeping the Indians off balance. Not really necessarily blowing you away with speed at times, but she's doing a good job of varying her speeds and hitting her locations. So 2-2 is the count here on Newsom, trying to extend the inning. There's 2 outs and nobody on here for the Indians. Ground ball, first baseman grabs it, steps on the bag, and that'll do it. Indians go 3 up, 3 down there in the 5th inning. And it continues to be all Bulldogs here in game 1. We'll take a break and be back with more right after this on FM 95 Sports and Let'sGoICCTV.com.
When I think of potential, I think of a matchstick. When a matchstick reaches its potential, it releases a flame that ignites everything around it. 2018 brings new potential for you and your life at Itawamba Community College, where you are each empowered to do great things. You can be better, accomplish more, and live a life that is above the bar. Your potential is here.
Need money now? Get a Choice Pawn loan on things you already own, like guns, boats, campers, trailers, recreational vehicles, and just about everything else. Get a loan from Choice Pawn in Fulton and Tupelo. Get cash today. ChoicePawn.com.
Today, you are connected more than ever. Your friends, your family, your life. Having a partner that understands banking is what you do on your time, anywhere you like. It's about being connected, which is easy with convenient locations in your community. Understanding that sometimes you need to speak to real people with real answers. Banking partners with the services you desire, who understand how you want to bank. Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we do have some Choice Pawn position changes here. New pitcher in the contest for the Indians. That is going to be Macy Cox taking over in the circle. Moving from pitcher to shortstop is Bailey Springfield. And that appears to be the only changes for the Indians defensively here in the bottom of the fifth. 3 runs in the bottom of the fourth, 2 in the second, and 1 in the first. That's been all the Bulldogs here in game 1. They lead it 6-2.
Off for the Bulldogs.
So this will be Jada White, the catcher, who is 1 for 2 on the day. She doubled to drive in a run, also struck out. That was back in the third. As that pitch going to miss low. Well, as we said, this home plate umpire does not like low pitches today, and that has hurt the Indians. They have had to serve up some pitches today, and Gulf Coast has taken advantage of that, as they have had 5 extra base hits. This pitch popped up. Piper chasing over, and she's not going to be able to get to it. Make it 6 extra base hits. And the throw not in time. Probably should have threw your hands up over there on right field to keep the runner from advancing to third. But now that is going to be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extra base hit of the game here for the Bulldogs. Well, as I said, we're playing on a pretty big field, and the Bulldogs taking advantage of that so far here. But as you said, though, both teams play on the same field. Indians have been able to cash in. That pitch missing low for a ball. As this is Avery Sanders. Sanders 0 from 1 with a strikeout, a walk. She was replaced on the bases by number 25, Williams, who scored a run. Change up, missing. 2-0 now is the count. Umpire's going to come off and brush off the plate here. I think a large part of the struggles of the home plate umpire, he's taller than most. He just can't quite get low enough to see these low strikes that are coming across at the knees. And that's where the Indians pitchers like to work. As you see, he doesn't squat very low. And so you're pretty much having to throw it about belt high to get a strike call today. And so 2-1 now is the count. There's a shot to center field. Corey Childs going to step underneath it, and they're going to try to get the run home, and it will. So a sacrifice fly off the bat of Sanders helps her cause there, and makes it a 7-2 contest. And now this is going to be
Maya Hobson.
Maya Hobson coming to the plate. She's 0 from 1 with a strikeout. Actually, this was the one the Williams scored for earlier. I gave you the wrong stats as Williams came in to run for Hobson. She scored. That pitch, not real sure where that one missed. but apparently low. Look to be right above the knees, but as we said, just not getting those strike calls today. Ground ball, and it's going to get through.
You good, Sam?
9th hit of the ball game for the Bulldogs.
Bulldog third baseman.
And now this is going to be Betty Mingo. Mingo has doubled, had a sacrifice bunt, so she's 1 for 1 with a run scored. Excuse me, that pitch missing low for a ball. And that pitch missing low for a ball. Those pitches are at the knees, so those are strikes. The home plate umpire just not calling them this afternoon, which is unfortunate because you see good pitchers like to work low in the zone, not to give people anything easy to hit. There's a line shot to Springfield, toss over to first, not in time for the double play. And so now with 2 outs, this is going to bring up Massey. Massey is 2 for 2 on the day with a triple and a single. Both at bats have driven in a run. She's also scored a run. So with 2 outs and a runner on first, the Bulldogs trying to extend this inning. Pitch missing outside for a ball. So 7-2 is your score. It's been all Gulf Coast here in game 1. Is that pitch called a strike? And again, it's got to be about halfway up the knees before the umpire is going to call a strike. Not calling them low today. So most of these pitches that he's called strikes have been belt high to not halfway up the legs. This pitch fouled back and out of play. 0-2 now is the count. So 1-2 now is the count here on Massey. So the Indians trying to find the exit here, see if they can get out of this inning with minimum damage done, but the Bulldogs have done an outstanding job today, coming up with some clutch 2-out hits. 1-2. And that pitch missing high. 2-2 now is the count. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Runner on first here for the Bulldogs. They lead 7-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Take a look at that. Little Caesars instant replay there. Swinging strike 3, the first Renaissance Bank strikeout of the day for Macy Cox. And the Indians trail at 7-2 as we'll head to the top of the 6th. ICC's got to find some bats. Hope to rally in this one late. We'll take a break and be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com.
This broadcast on Let'sGoICCTV.com is presented by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Food Giant, the Sonic of Fulton, your Etowah County Farm Bureau agent Joey Cox, the ICC BSU, Bank of Okolona, Legend Sports Grill, the ICC Wesley Foundation, Choice Pawn, Kegel Eye Center, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the ICC Alumni Association, and the ICC Foundation.
So you took Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest pizza that has the most cheese and pepperoni at the nation's best price and then stuffed more cheese into the crust?
Yep, it's got 3 feet of cheese stuffed in the crust.
Huh. They added more cheese to the pizza with the most cheese. They added more cheese to the pizza with the most cheese. They added more cheese to their pizza with
Poor guy. Couldn't wrap his mind around all that cheese.
They added.
Get a large Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest Stuffed Crust Pepperoni Pizza for $9.
Pizza, pizza.
And welcome back. It's going to be Macy Cox, Bailey Springfield, and Mackenzie Piper due up. And that first pitch called a strike. That pitch missing high. 1-1 now is the count here to Macy Cox. 7-2 is your score. Gulf Coast with the lead. On the top of the 6th inning here in game 1. That pitch missing low. 2-1 now goes the count here on Macy Cox. Cox, Springfield, and Piper due up. Indians gotta find some bats. Got to do it in a hurry here. They're down to their final 6 outs of the contest. That pitch missing low. 3-1 now is the count. 3 balls, 1 strike, no outs as Macy Cox leading off the inning here for the Indians. And there's ball 4. Nice job starting the contest there for Macy Cox, throwing her 2nd walk of the day. She walked in her first at bat to start the 2nd, was left stranded in scoring position. We'll see if the Indians elect to maybe switch out a runner here in this situation. I believe they are. It looks like they're going to send in Rachel Sternisha to run in this situation for Cox. Coach Kurt talking to the home plate umpire, getting in this Choice Pond change here. Choice Pond, hey, they're not going out of business, folks. They have actually decided to keep things going there in Fulton. So if you need a pond lawn or more, go right there to the T intersection, hang a right in Fulton, and there's Choice Pond, a proud sponsor of ICC Athletics here on FM 95 Sports and Let's Go ICCTV.com. So instead of Sternisha, it's actually going to be Lily Moore coming in to run. So Lily will come in to run here for the Indians. They trail 7-2.
Itawamba number 13, Lily Moore.
So Bailey Springfield will come to the plate. She is 1 for 1 with a run scored. She also had a sacrifice bunt in her first at bat. So trying to spark the bats for the Indians here. In the top of the 6th, Springfield swings on the first pitch she sees, fouls it back. Out of play for strike 1. Not a bad idea swinging on that first pitch there by Springfield, as Avery Sanders has done an amazing job today getting ahead of just about every batter, except maybe 2 or 3. But she has been ahead of the majority of the counts today. Springfield pops this one up. Third baseman drifting over and squeezes it for the putout in fair territory for out number 1, and now up is going to be Mackenzie Piper.
Right fielder number 18,
Piper did have a double in her last at bat, eventually came around to score. The only 2 runs for the Indians, that was back in the 4th. So Piper trying to get things going here. Lily Moore is at first. Takes a minimum lead. That pitch missing low for ball. .0 is the count here to Mackenzie Piper. That pitch missing high. 2-0 now is the count here for the sophomore out of Pell City, Alabama. Playing in right field here. That pitch right now Broadway for a strike. 2-1 now is the count here on Piper. Runner on first, that's Lily Moore, who came in to run after Macy Cox drew her 2nd walk of the day. That pitch, wow. High and inside, but called a strike. No way that Piper could have even tried to hit the ball that time. But anyway it goes, 2-2 now is the count. That pitch missing in the dirt. 3-2 now. The count here to Mackenzie Piper. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and a runner on first. With 1 out here in the top of the 6th. ICC trailing Gulf Coast 7-2 here in softball action. And there's ball 4. So now the Indians, can they get something going? After the second walk of the inning issued here, we're going to have a runner coming in place of Piper. Looks like this is going to be Boots Reed. That is going to be Haley Reed, also known as Boots, coming in to run in place of Mackenzie Piper. So with 1 out, runners on first and second for the Indians. This will be Olivia Burns now coming to the plate.
It's hitting for the Lady Indians.
So Burns will come in for her first at bat of the day. Indians trail this game 7-2. You said the Indians running out of outs. Bulldogs have just been outstanding here in the first game of the day so far. And a lot of that having to do with Avery Sanders. It's that pitch on that outside corner for a strike, and that's what we talked about. Avery has done a good job today getting ahead and staying ahead of the ICC batters. 0-1 is the count here to Burns. Burns fouls this one back off the netting for strike 2. Madison Carnes is on deck. She had a double that probably would have been out of any other park in the league except for this one here at Harrison Central. There's a changeup missing. 1-2 now is the count. Not a bad spot to miss that time by Sanders. Playing on an extremely large, old school, slow pitch softball field here at Harrison Central. The reason we're playing here is because Gulf Coast has yet to get the field ready, as that one's going to drop for a base hit, and they're going to ask the run to score, and it will. And now they're going to try to get him in a rundown. Now Boots is going to come out and try to draw the throw over. And they tag out the runner. The throw is going to be not in time. So they do end up getting 2 runs on the play as Boots dives in safely. Burns was tagged out, but 2-run score there for the Indians. Makes it 7-4.
Second baseman number 9, Madison Carnes.
Well, interesting play there on that one. So it goes for a single, and it was 4 unassisted. I'm not going to put down all the other tossing around that time that got Burns out. So now with 1 out in the inning, this is Madison Carnes at the plate. The Indians get 2 runs there, and that was big. Carnes 2 for 2. She has a single and a double and an RBI. She's been left stranded twice in scoring position. Actually, there should be 2 outs in the inning. And there he is. 2-0 is the count here to Carnes. So Madison trying to spark a 2-out rally here. Swings on that one, misses. Breeze blowing up again here in the ballpark. Two-1 is the count here to Carnes. Madison takes that pitch high for a ball. 3-1 now goes the count. Carnes fouls that one off for strike 2. So now 3-2 is the count here to Madison Carnes. Can the Indians keep this inning alive? Try to keep the rally going here. Carnes takes ball 4. Borderline pitch, not going the way of the Bulldogs. You would have really heard the ICC faithful get upset if that one had been called strike 3, as that one was low. And he has not been giving those low pitches, so staying consistent on the call there. And now this is going to be Corey Childs coming to the plate. Corey is 1 for 3 on the afternoon. Has have a single, was left stranded back in the third. She's also grounded out to short and popped up to the left. Five runners left in scoring position. That is haunting the Indians so far in this one. Just cannot come up with the timely hits when they need them the most. That pitch drifts high for a ball. 1-1 now is the count here on Corey Childs. Indians have gotten 2 runs on 1 hit so far in the inning. ICC trying to extend the inning here, see if they can keep this rally going. That pitch missing high. 2-1 now is the count. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, and a runner on first here for the Indians. Would love to see something get down to the corner for Corey, who can run for days with the speed she has. That pitch missing high, though. 3-1 now is the count. So Sanders getting set to deliver the 3-1 pitch. And there's ball 4. Sanders starting to labor a little bit. Has pitched well coming into this inning. That is her 4th walk of the inning. Leading up to this inning, she had only walked 1. So now they're going to come out and try to talk things over here and get Sanders to kind of calm down a little bit. Let's take a break with them. We'll be back with more right after this on FM 95 Sports and Let'sGoICCTV.com. Indians trail Gulf Coast 7-4. Top of the 6th with 2 outs.
Gotta be hoops and wings.
Nah, subs.
Wings all day.
How about a sub?
Dude, wings.
Nah.
Really?
Gotta have ice cold Coke.
I'll drink to that.
Now that's how it's done.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 7-4, Gulf Coast with the lead here over your number 4 Indians. Top of the 6th inning with 2 outs, and this is going to be Hannah Williams at the plate. Hannah 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out to short. Trying to keep this 2-out rally going here. Pitch in the dirt, ball gets away, and the runners will advance. So the runners advance on the wild pitch. Boy, a base hit here for Hannah Williams. Something down to the gap would be huge for the Indians. They trail 7-4. 2 outs here, top of the 6th. Game 1 between ICC and Gulf Coast. That pitch missing outside for a ball. 2-0 now is the count. Bulldogs starting to get someone loose in the bullpen. And that pitch nips the corner for a strike. 2-1 now is the count here on Hannah Williams. Well, Hannah's due. 0 for 2 on the day. She does have a pretty good bat on her. She gets something over the head of the shortstop. That's going to score 2 runs with Corey Childs at second. And Williams that time just stepping out of it, trying to pull it right, looked like that time. Swung on a miss. 2-2 now is the count here on Hannah Williams. Can the Indians keep this 2-out rally alive here? They trail 7-4. Ground ball, shortstop, gets it, throws it over in the dirt, but in time. Just got her by a half a step. 6-3 on the putout of Hannah Williams, and the Bulldogs get out of the inning with minimum damage done. 2 runs on 1 hit, no errors. And once again, the Indians leave a pair of runners in scoring position. That is going to be the story of the day here for the Indians when you look back on Game 1. As we head to the bottom of the 6th, ICC trailing 7-4. Back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com and FM 95 Sports.
The longer a person has diabetes, the more likely they are to develop diabetic retinopathy. If left untreated, diabetic retinopathy can lead to blindness. That's why it's important for diabetics to have a comprehensive eye examination with dilation once a year. I'm Dr. Laurie Cagle of Cagle Eye Center in Fulton. We offer comprehensive eye exams to provide diagnosis and treatment of various eye diseases. Browse our large selection of frames available in prescription and non-prescription. Call to schedule your appointment today at Cagle Eye Center in Fulton.
Sonic Nights is the highlight of the summer.
Oh, yeah. There's probably some pretty big names here checking out these half-price floats.
Oh, everyone who's anyone is here tonight. Look, there are those 2 guys.
What are they famous for?
Huh. I think for eating here all the time.
Are we good at eating here or what?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, come on.
For a limited time, get real ice cream slushes, shakes, and floats half price after 8 p.m. during Sonic Nights. This is how you Sonic. Best tailgate, brisket.
No, real football y pollo asado.
Hoops and wings.
Burgers.
7-layer dip.
Hummus. What?
You need a hot grill.
And an ice cold Coke.
It's got to be cold.
It's Tailgating 101.
Need money now? Get a Choice Pawn loan on things you already own, like guns, boats, campers, trailers, recreational vehicles, and just about everything else. Get a loan from Choice Pawn in Fulton and Tupelo. Get cash today. ChoicePawn.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We do have a couple of Choice Pawn position changes. Out in right field now is Mackenzie Toombs. Left fielder is Boots Reed, and the new third baseman is Olivia Burns. Macy Cox still in the circle. That appears to be the only changes there.
The sixth inning. Center fielder number 12, Megan Sexton.
So getting these changes in here. That pitch missing low for a ball. So got my changes made defensively. That first pitch missing for a ball. Second one right down Broadway for a strike. 7-4 is your score here in favor of the Bulldogs. They've got 9 hits on the day, 7 of those going for extra bases. Excuse me, 6 of those going for extra bases. As that pitch across for a strike, 1-2 now is the count. So 1-2 is the count here on Sexton, the leadoff batter. Here in the bottom of the 6th, that pitch missing low and outside, 2-2 now is the count. Not necessarily a bad spot to miss if you couldn't get her to chase one that time. Well, the clouds continue to gather here at the ballpark. We're going to keep an eye on this. The wind is now shifted, actually blowing into the ballpark. Is there a strike? No. That pitch, I guess, missing a little too inside and low for the umpire's liking. 3-2 now is the count. Looked like a pretty good pitch to ring her up on there. Instead, ball 3 is the call. Ground ball, foul ball, and we'll stay at 3-2. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, no outs. That's Sexton, Wall, and Triplett due up here for the Bulldogs in the bottom of the 6th. Indians get 2 runs in the top part of the inning. Indians trying to get a 3-up, 3-down inning and see if they can get a rally going in the top of the 7th. 3-2 is the count. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Big time Renaissance Bank strikeout there. Back-to-back Renaissance Bank strikeouts from Macy Cox. 1 out now. We go to the top of the lineup in Madison Wall, the DP. Wall has been a tough out today. She's 2 for 3 with a double and a triple, an RBI and a run scored. Actually 2 runs scored. She has struck out. That pitch missing low and outside for a ball. Here the winds continuing to blow here at the ballpark. There's a shot up the middle. Springfield tries to get it, can't throw over in time. Call that an E6 as a hitter in the glove just could not quite reel it in that time.
Coming to the plate, Bulldog shortstop number 7, Brittany Triplett.
And now this will be Brittany Triplett. Triplett 1 for 3 on the day. She did have a single. This pitch fouled back and out of play for strike 1. Infield is in this situation. Outfield playing shallow really shading her to pull it to the left. If she can get something through past the second baseman, or excuse me, actually the first baseman, Newsom. Change up, clips the corner of the plate there for a strike. 0-2 now is the count here to Brittany Triplett, the shortstop. Runner at first, that's Madison Wall, who reached on an error. (0-2) is the count. One out here in the top of the sixth. We'll pitch out to see if the runner might have been going on that 0-2 pitch. Did not. 1-2 now is the count here on Brittany Triplett. Macy Cox in the circle here. She replaced Springfield in the fifth. Is that pitch missing? 2-2 now is the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, and a runner on first. Triplett digging in here. Pops this one up, back and out of play. And the count will stay 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner at first here, top of the sixth. ICC trailing 7-4. This is a slow roller. Second baseman gets it, tags one, and throws over for 2. A Little Caesars double play on a nice stretch over there by Shelby Newsom. Heads up play by Madison Carnes to tag the base runner, then quickly flip it over to first to get the Little Caesars double play, the first double play of the day for the Indians. Can that spark ICC? They trail at 7-4, down to their final 3 outs of the contest. We're going to take a break and be back with more right after this on FM 95 Sports and Let'sGoICCTV.com.
This broadcast on Let'sGoICCTV.com is presented by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Food Giant, the Sonic of Fulton, your Etowah County Farm Bureau agent Joey Cox, the ICC BSU, Bank of Okolona, Legend Sports Grill, the ICC Wesley Foundation, Choice Pawn, Kegel Eye Center, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the ICC Alumni Association, and the ICC Foundation.
So you took Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest pizza that has the most cheese and pepperoni at the nation's best price and then stuffed more cheese into the crust?
Yep, it's got 3 feet of cheese stuffed in the crust.
Huh.
Added more cheese to the pizza with the most cheese. Added more cheese to the pizza with the most cheese. They added more cheese to their pizza with
Poor
the
guy.
most cheese.
Couldn't wrap his mind around all that cheese.
They added.
Get a large Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest stuffed crust pepperoni pizza for $9.
Pizza.
Samantha Conley.
And welcome back now as we go to the top of the 7th inning. ICC trailing in this contest 7-4. Samantha Conley will lead things off here for the Indians. Takes that first pitch outside corner for a strike. Well, Avery Sanders lights out here in game 1. She has scattered 6, maybe 7 hits. Really hasn't gotten any trouble. Time is taken by the batter here. She scattered 7 hits. The Indians have left 6 runners in scoring position. So that's where Avery has been good today. Is getting out some jams. That pitch missing low and outside for a ball. 1-1 now is the count here to Samantha Conley. Sam out of Louisiana trying to get the inning started in a positive manner here for the Indians. Takes a look at that pitch up for a ball. 2-1 now is the count. Conley 0 for 3 with a strikeout on the afternoon. Shelby Newsom on deck. She's got the same stats. Conley, hard hit ground ball is going to get through. Samantha Conley will start the inning off with a single. Do the Indians have a rally left in them there? A good start to the inning as Conley sneaks one through there for a hit.
First baseman number 22, Shelby Newsom.
And now this is going to be Shelby Newsom coming to the plate. Newsom 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Struck out to end the first, grounded out to short to end the third. Swings of the first pitch she sees, fouls it back out of play for strike one. She's also grounded out to the first baseman to end the fifth. So looking for her first hit of the day. Conley gets her first hit of the day. It was a big one to start the inning. Newsom takes that one across for a strike. 0-2 now is the count here on Shelby Newsom. So the Indians trailing by 3 here in the top of the 7th. They're at Gulf Coast. We're on the campus of Harrison Central High School. Change up, falls off the table just a bit too soon. 1-2 now is the count here to Newsom. High drama here late in the contest. Newsom pops one. Deep, 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 and it's going to be a fly ball. Ended up being a sacrifice fly there. That would have been a home run anywhere else in the league, ladies and gentlemen. That would have been a 2-run shot. But when you're playing in the Grand Canyon, you got to hit 6 miles to get it out of the ballpark. That one was only 5.5. If the wind could have carried it a little bit more, would have been out of the ballpark, but 230 down the lines. That was nothing but a deep, deep, deep fly ball to put the runner in scoring position. That pitch missing outside for a ball. That's about the second hit today for the Indians that have pushed Gulf Coast well back into play. Probably would have been about 2 or 3 home runs hit by the Indians today. But, as we said, playing in a really big park has given some of the breaks to Gulf Coast. They've been able to get some of those hits. ICC has not adjusted defensively in the outfield to be able to make some of those routine plays. As that pitch comes back inside on Cox across for a strike. 2-1 now is the count here on Macy Cox. She's 0 for 1 of the day. She's walked twice, was left stranded in scoring position back in the second. Her runner, Lily Moore, scored in the 6th. That pitch missing for a ball. 3-1 now is the count. Can the Indians spark a rally here in the top of the 7th, trailing by 3? And there's strike 2 as Macy started to head down to first base. The umpire, a little delay on the strike call, but the correct call, as that one did a good job of tailing back in and clipping the corner of the plate for strike 2. And there's ball 4. So for the 3rd time today, Macy Cox will get the free pass. And she will head down to first, and this will be Bailey Springfield.
Shortstop number 21, Bailey Springfield.
Bailey 1 for 2 on the day. She had a single, scored a run, a sacrifice bunt back in the first, and popped out to third in her previous at-bat. Well, the wind is whipping here in the ballpark as we'll have a runner coming in place of Macy Cox. And this will be Kelsey Yates coming in to run. So Yates in to run here in place of Macy Cox. Bailey Springfield at the plate. She is representing the tying run here in the top of the 7th with 1 out. Runner at second. That's Samantha Conley, who started the inning with a single. And advanced to second on a sacrifice fly by Shelby Newsom as that pitch missing low for a ball. And when I say a sacrifice fly that would have been a 2-run home run anywhere else in the league. So that first pitch missing low. That one across for a strike. 1-1 now is the count here on Bailey Springfield. Mackenzie Piper is on deck for the Indians. Springfield trying to spark it here. Gets well ahead of this one. Pulls it foul and out of play. Deep into the woods. Actually hits the tree and bounces back out of the forest. 1-2 now is the count here on Bailey Springfield. Well, the Indians just need to take advantage of this big field. Don't try to put it out of the park. Just put it to the gap. Springfield, grounder to the shortstop. Underhand toss to 1, and they're not going to be able to get 2, so a fielder's choice on the play, as that will retire Yates. And so now with 2 outs in the inning, this is going to be Mackenzie Piper. Got some more changes being made here by the Indians. So basically, said number 18 re-entering for the Indians.
With 2 outs.
That's Piper.
Number 18, Mackenzie Piper.
As she was substituted for defensively. She did have a double that drove in a run. That was back in the 4th inning. Walked in her previous at-bat. Boots, who came in to run for her, scored a run. Missed opportunities. So far been the tail of the tape here for the Indians. Can they cash in on some late? This pitch is going to be fouled off out of play. 1-1 now is the count. Samantha Conley over at third. Bailey Springfield is at first. Runners on the corners with 2 outs here for the Indians in the top of the 7th. Bulldogs trying to hold on and get the upset victory here in Game 1 over ICC. Avery Sanders trying to go the distance. Piper, ground ball, shortstop, finds it, tosses it over for the putout. 6-3, and that'll do it. The Bulldogs upset the Indians here in Game 1 by the final score of 7-4. As we'll move into our Renaissance Bank postgame report. So we'll take a break and be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com.
What's better than waiting in line at the bank? Literally everything. Renaissance Bank's mobile check deposit lets you take care of checks wherever you want. Click on Deposit Check in the Renaissance mobile app. Read and hit Continue on the bottom of the notice page. Sign it. Write your name, account number, and for mobile deposit only on the back. Photograph it, front and back, so we know it's real. Type in the amount, choose the account to deposit into, click Continue, and go on your way. You'll receive an email that is being processed, but hold on to the hard copy until the check clears, and then rip it up and throw it away. So what are you waiting for? Download the Renaissance mobile banking app and make waiting in line a thing of the past. Check, phone, check. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
This broadcast on Let'sGoICCTV.com is presented by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Food Giant, the Sonic of Fulton, your Etowah County Farm Bureau agent Joey Cox, the ICC BSU, Bank of Okolona, Legend Sports Grill, the ICC Wesley Foundation, Choice Pawn, Kegel Eye Center, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the ICC Alumni Association, and the ICC Foundation.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to the Renaissance Bank postgame report. ICC falls in Game 1 by the final score of 7-4. And a day that, well, the day just belonged to the Bulldogs. ICC, here's your final line. 4 runs on 8 hits, 1 error. The Bulldogs, 7 runs on 9 hits, no errors. And for the Bulldogs, out of those 9 hits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those went for extra bases. Take a look at today's Sonic stats being brought to you by the Sonic in Fulton. Remind you they've got half-price shakes after 8 p.m. there in the Sonic in Fulton. And let's start for the Indians. Corey Childs was 1 for 3 with a single and a walk. 2 times she was left stranded in scoring position. That's going to be a big-time stat when we look at the end of the day. Meg Sullivan was 1 from 1, stolen a base, and was not able to finish the game as she left with an injury. She was replaced by Hannah Williams, who went 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Samantha Conley on the day was 1 for 4 with a strikeout. Shelby Newsom was 0 for 3 with a sacrifice fly and a strikeout. Macy Cox was 0 for 1 with 3 walks. Her runner, Lily Moore, scored a run. She was left stranded once in scoring position. Bailey Springfield was 1 for 3 with a sacrifice bunt, a single, and a run scored. She also reached on a fielder's choice. And then it was Mackenzie Piper on the day. She was 1 for 3 as she doubled drove in a run, scored a run. She walked. Boots Reed came in and scored a run as well. Joanna Vasquez was 0 for 2. Olivia Burns came in, was 1 for 1, was singled and caught in a rundown. That was back in the 6th. And then Madison Carnes is our Legends Sports Grill legend of the game. She was 2 for 2 with an RBI double and a single. She also walked, so she was very effective. But the only problem is she was left on base in scoring position 3 times. For the Indians, they left 8 runners on in scoring position here in game 1. And boy, you take a look at it there, you can get half of them back. Makes a big time difference here in this ball game. For Gulf Coast, it was Madison Walls. She was 2 for 4 with a strikeout. She did reach on an error. Brittany Triplett was 1 for 4. She hit into a double play, had a single. Kaylin Garrett was 0 for 3 on the day. Jada White was 2 for 3 with a strikeout, a double, and a triple. Avery Sanders was 0 for 1. She had a sacrifice fly and a walk. Maya Hobson was 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Betty Mingo was 1 for 2. She had a sacrifice bunt, a double, and a run scored. Bailey Massey on the day was 2 for 3 with a single and a triple, a run scored, 2 RBIs, and a strikeout. And Kristen Sexton on the day was 0 for 2. She did reach on a fielder's choice, scored a run, had a sacrifice fly that was good for an RBI. Avery Sanders gets the win for the Bulldogs. Let's see what she improves to on the year pitching-wise. If I can find those stats. She improves to 5-3 on the year, while Bailey Springfield is the pitcher of record here in game 1. She falls to 16-3. Well, that's going to do it for our broadcast here of Game 1 on FM 95 Sports. We do appreciate everyone listening here on FM 95 Sports. Also want to say a special thank you to Jared Shields back in the studio in Amory. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the Railroad Festival going on. You want to be sure and find some good times there. Hopefully the weather will cooperate with the rest of the festival there. Jared, appreciate you, Ed and Tina there in the studios in Amory. This has been Adam Gore. ICC falls 7-4 in Game 1 to Gulf Coast, looking to rebound in Game 2 here at Harrison Central, as we'll take a break and come back with Game 2 in about, let's say 15-20 minutes, only on Let'sGoICCTV.com.
This broadcast on Let'sGoICCTV.com is presented by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Food Giant, the Sonic of Fulton, your Etowah County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, the ICC BSU, Bank of Okolona, Legend Sports Grill, the ICC Wesley Foundation, Choice Palm, Kegel Eye Center, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the ICC Alumni Association, and the ICC Foundation.
When I think of potential, I think of a matchstick. When a matchstick reaches its potential, it releases a flame that ignites everything around it. 2018 brings new potential for you and your life at Itawamba Community College, where you are each empowered to do great things. You can be better, accomplish more, and live a life that is above the bar. Your potential is here.